Where were you on June 8th, 2023? Here's where I was. Clocked out from my state job at a day baseball game with my fellow directors, all male. Here is how Allison and Jordan described where I was that day. Absent 4.44 hours without notice, semicolon, not scheduled off. They wrote that in a memo about me that they called recent behavior and pattern of conduct of our legal counsel. Here's how they described my male colleagues' whereabouts that day. Just kidding. There's no memos about them. I asked just to make sure. No memos about them. So let's walk through the day, shall we? I got to work that day. I clocked in 10:14 a.m. I had been up late working on something at home after I had left work the previous day. Did you guys know that state employees at the legislature clock in? There's a time clock. It's not like a punch card like when I worked in restaurants in the 90s. It's an electronic scanner mounted on the wall on each of the 5 house office floors of the Vern Reif building. And if you're not at one of those devices on one of those floors because you're starting or ending your day somewhere else on Cap Square, like across the street in the actual State House, for example, then you email your times to this account called Clockmaster. Pretty simple. So I got there that morning and immediately got to work where I'd left off late the night before. So, background. The day before, the Republicans had finally given us, Jordan and Allison, a report produced by outside counsel who were paid tens of thousands of dollars to do a workplace investigation of my internal complaint about sex discrimination. Jordan had forwarded it to me without comment at about 11 o'clock the previous day, on June 7th. So I had clocked out at normal time, gone home the day before, and kept working to absorb this, analyze this outside counsel report, because I knew that Allison and Jordan had a meeting scheduled with the speaker the next day about other HR stuff. I knew that because Jordan and I had discussed it the week before and had agreed together that I would not go to that meeting because of the pending status of my own complaint. That kind of rendered me less effective to assist them. It was hanging over my head. And the other matter involved different staff. And I had been helping them with it. But at this point, I recommended to Jordan, you guys need to clear my thing up first so it's not hanging over my head, and I can help you in these meetings. Anyway, so here we are on June 8th. I've had this thing just over 24 hours. I've done my fastest analysis and markup of this 17-page outside counsel report that ignores the main substance of my complaint. And at this point, I am so stressed. Like, earlier in the day, I told my work friends, I don't know if I'm going to join you at that baseball game. You know, we try to go to a day baseball game every year or two. But now I've done my analysis. I decide, yeah, I am drained from that. I'm going to go meet my colleagues at the baseball game and decompress. So, director's outing to the baseball game, here I come. But first, I went up to Jordan's office at about 1 o'clock with 2 copies of my analysis, one for him and one for Allison. So I give him the quick rundown, just in case this is discussed at the meeting they're about to have with the speaker. We chat about the baseball game. He had told us he couldn't come. Obviously, he had a meeting to go to. I told him I was going to go. Then I get up from my chair. I tell him I'm going to give a copy to the leader. Her office is next door. And he looks panicked, like he doesn't want me to. So that was weird. Like he wanted to just handle it. I don't know. I thought that was strange. So I walked the 6 feet over to her office I knock, I go in, I give her a copy of my analysis and give her the quick rundown. And the quick rundown was essentially that the outside counsel hired by the Republicans, had essentially ignored the bulk of my complaint. They did nothing about the sexual assault allegation and retaliation against a young woman there. They seem to have ignored the interviews they did and the piles of documents they requested from me and that I gave them. And their conclusion was, everything's been done just fine, pretty much. Nothing to see here. Nothing to your complaint, Sarah. So they took 5 months to do nothing, essentially. This is exactly what I told the Republicans would happen when they insisted on hiring outside counsel. So Allison seems like she's rushing. Maybe she's nervous about her upcoming meeting with the speaker. I think she had just gotten there to the office, so she's getting settled. And I'd seen her like this before. It's fine. She's a busy person. But she says to me when I give her the analysis, I'd like these things a little more in advance. And I was like, does she not know what's going on here? So I say, we just got it yesterday. I said, I moved as quickly as I could. It is not on your meeting agenda with the speaker today. But if it comes up, I wanted you to at least have something about it so you wouldn't be blindsided. So they go off to their meeting with the speaker. I go back to my office. I clock out at 1:30. I change my clothes, jump on a scooter, go to the baseball stadium. The game's already started. I join my friends. I thought Jordan might call me after the speaker meeting and I'd step out from the game and talk to him like I frequently did whenever he called, wherever I was on the planet. Or I'd catch him when I got back to the office. He did not call. I happened to run into him in the building lobby on my way back up to my office later that afternoon, around 5 or 5:30. I came back to get my purse and my car, and he was on his way out to go home. He said something like, good stuff in there today, and he didn't elaborate. He had his bags and he's heading out. He has kids at home, so I didn't want to keep him or press him. I thought, all right, we'll talk about this tomorrow. And even though I was dying to know every detail of the meeting, and the normal practice would be for us to debrief in detail right away, or as soon as possible. But you want to know what he said about that encounter in the building lobby? He wrote in the memo, quote, Sarah was briefed on meeting by Minority Chief of Staff in passing that evening as she was re-entering the Rife in athletic wear. Athletic wear. Can you believe this? By the way, I was wearing jeans, not athletic wear. I can't believe I'm even explaining this, but it was common for us to come and go from that place to different events and change our clothes. It's not like some white shoe law firm where you can't even wear your commuting sneakers into the office, which, by the way, I didn't do. Not really a commuting sneakers kind of person, but anyway, he had to slip in this crack about athletic wear like I was a naughty kid breaking the rules. It's just so crazy because this is my friend Jordan who, I giggled with at 1 a.m. on the House floor with session going on. One of our members was making an accidentally hilarious speech, something to do with Amazon packages being stolen from porches. The member kept saying, snatching packages. And it was late and it was funny and we were cracking up. This is my friend Jordan, who would catch my eye during whatever horrible floor debate was happening. And he'd do this funny, long gun gesture, blowing his brains out. And I would do the hanging motion, Jeffrey Epstein style. I mean, it was dark humor. Give us a break. Like, you've seen what the Republicans do to this state. We were watching it in real time, trying to stop it, trying to help our members stop it. Anyway, so that's the guy. That's my friend. This clown who's now writing a memo about me in my absence and my athletic wear. I mean, come on. It's wild. All right, well, see you soon for more on my rap sheet.